Shaw Smith-Wade finally slows up. One pop to match and win on sale now. Blitz coming. Shedeur Sanders to throw on first down. And that one complete.
I just watched what happened to Shedeur Sanders in the Cleveland Browns' third and final preseason game. And I'm outraged, I'm sickened, and I'm saddened. By the way, Shedeur continues to be treated in the National Football League now by those sorry-ass Browns and sorry-ass Kevin Stefanski. So, yeah, Flacco started today, and I'll give you this, he played well.
Football's golden boy, Shedeur Sanders, just had a preseason showing so shocking that fans are still trying to wrap their heads around it. This wasn't your average dropped pass or routine mistake. It was a stumble so dramatic it's got people buzzing nonstop. Now, an insider is dropping details so wild they make reality TV look scripted. Was it nerves, sabotage, or something nobody saw coming? Stick around, the truth behind Shedeur's stunning slip is so outrageous, you'll struggle to believe it.
Last preseason game, how do you feel like it went?
Last preseason game, I'm happy because we got the win.
How do you feel about your performance personally?
Obviously, I feel like I can improve in a lot of areas. You know, like the same thing I said last time, walking off the field last game that I played in, and I'm just excited for the opportunity to get out there and play.
What's the biggest thing you've learned or taken away from training camp?
Biggest thing I learned, I would say connecting with my teammates, relationships, bonds with everybody and everybody. Yeah.
Couple days, 3 days until roster cuts.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The stadium lights were blinding, the crowd was deafening, and every set of eyes in America was fixed on one man, Shedeur Sanders. The Prince of Primetime. The chosen heir to Deion Sanders' football empire. The quarterback everyone expected to glide through preseason, firing darts with the ease of a video game on rookie mode. But instead of the smooth dominance fans envisioned, what they witnessed was a stumble so strange, so unexpected, it sent shockwaves through the stands. Viewers were left stunned, blinking like they'd just watched a plot twist straight out of a telenovela.
Emery, let's just say this wasn't the best performance we've seen from Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't what he was hoping for. He was sacked not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4. It was 5 times, 5 sacks. That's a lot of time on the ground for the young quarterback. He completed just 3 of 6 passes, 14 yards, before being notably replaced by Tyler Huntley on the final drive of the game. This created a lot of post-game headlines. So what do you make, Emery, of that decision by Kevin Stefanski, who said not to read anything into it?
A lot of times with these coaches and coaches like Kevin Stefanski, it's ego over execution, it's plays over players. At the end of the day, you got to give this kid a shot to redeem himself. That's the beauty of being a rookie. You're going to go out there, you're going to struggle, you're going to have some success, you're going to struggle again, but you want to see them come out on the other side. Now, Shedeur
Shedeur didn't just stumble, he stumbled with flair. Not the harmless kind where you trip on the carpet and shrug it off, but the kind that instantly turns every sports commentator into a self-proclaimed body language analyst, breaking down his every twitch like it was the Zapruder film. One moment, fans were bracing for a highlight reel touchdown drive. The next, they were squinting at the screen, wondering if someone had secretly spiked his Gatorade with NyQuil. It was shocking, bizarre, and unforgettable all at once.
What we saw, it was nothing like what we saw with him against Carolina. And so I think when you perform that badly, it doesn't mean that it's the end. It doesn't mean he can't play in the NFL. It means that he had a very, very bad afternoon. But it was a very bad afternoon. And because it was a very bad afternoon, one could easily argue that Kevin Stefanski was trying to save him from himself. Whether you agree or disagree, I think that he's in a position where he can make that argument legitimately, and it would be very difficult to argue with him based on what we saw.
RC, does he deserve criticism, Stefanski?
Well, he deserves criticism to me for not allowing Shedeur Sanders to finish the game.
Here's the thing, Shedeur's stumble wasn't random. According to experts, it came from a cocktail of chaos so overwhelming it could have made even the most battle-tested quarterbacks consider faking an injury and heading straight for the exit. And the wildest part? The reasons are downright insane. But before we break those down, let's rewind. Shedeur didn't enter the preseason as just another rookie scrambling for a practice squad invite. He arrived with a spotlight blazing brighter than the Vegas Strip at 2 a.m. He wasn't just Dion's son, he was the Colorado sensation the college star fans believed would transition to the NFL with Ferrari-level smoothness on a freshly paved road. Expectations weren't mild, they were monumental. Supporters weren't simply cheering, they were already hunting for his rookie card, convinced it would someday be worth more than their homes. That's the hype Shedeur carried into preseason.
He just finished playing. Right now, he has taken 5 sacks. He has struggled getting rid of the football today. There's some stuff and some weaknesses of his game that maybe he didn't do as well as he should have this game. This is literally right after it. I watched the whole game. I watched everything. Yes, protection wasn't great, but we're going to break down the sacks, the sack fumble, and really his whole entire game right now.
The pressure was ridiculous, and everyone knew it. And then, reality hit. The preseason, where dreams meet defensive linemen who haven't showered in 3 days and play like their contracts depend on it. Unlike college ball, this isn't some friendly Saturday scrimmage against a team with 1.5 NFL prospects. This is the real deal, and defense is here. Move faster than unpaid rent. So when Shedeur lined up, you'd think he was about to uncork a highlight reel. Instead, what we saw was a quarterback who looked out of rhythm, almost like he showed up to the wrong dance recital. But when experts broke it down, the story got a whole lot juicier. Apparently, the first big reason Shedeur stumbled was simple: chemistry, or in this case, the lack of it. Let's face it, you can't throw no-look lasers if your wide receiver is still wondering what play you're running. Reports came out that Shedeur wasn't consistently working with the first-team reps during practice, which is like sending someone to a spelling bee but giving them the wrong dictionary.
Struggle today. But let's talk about why. We're going to go over this football game. First and foremost, we're going to get to what I saw from each of the quarterbacks. We're going to get to what I saw from Dillon Gabriel.
It's not exactly a recipe for success. He was being tossed in with lineups that had more holes than a cheap colander, and when you mix that with NFL-level defenses, disaster is practically guaranteed. But wait, it gets better. Because the second reason wasn't just bad luck. It was straight-up coaching chaos. Yes, the coaches apparently decided to throw Shedeur into situations that screamed sink or swim without tossing him a life vest. You've heard of trial by fire? This was trial by flamethrower. Instead of easing him in, letting him build rhythm, they tossed him into plays that would make even seasoned quarterbacks sweat. Imagine being told to solve a Rubik's Cube while juggling flaming swords, defenders close gaps faster, reads disappear quicker, and that precious half-second Shedeur used to have? Gone, vanished, evaporated like your paycheck on Amazon Prime Day. This is where Shedeur looked human. He wasn't washed, he wasn't a bust, he was just adjusting.
Criticism is because part of that development is watching a young quarterback deal with adversity and how does he rebound from it? How does he react? And if you knew that Snoop Huntley wasn't going to be on the team this week, which I'm sure they did, there's no reason to say we need to get him reps. There's no fairness in football, right? And favor isn't fair. And so from that standpoint, I believe he does. But to say that he's sabotaging this young player is absolutely false. The problem is we saw Shedeur Sanders one way headed into the draft. We evaluated him as a late first round, early second round pick. And so we expected a level of elation from Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns that they got someone we saw as being a tier above where he was drafted in the 5th round. And we
But fans? Oh, fans don't want to hear that. They want perfection, immediately. Forget that Peyton Manning once threw more interceptions than touchdowns in his rookie season. Forget that Josh Allen looked like he was playing dodgeball instead of football his first year. No, Shedeur's stumble became headline news, because how dare the golden child look mortal for 5 minutes? And then came the whispers. Oh, the whispers. Why? Because the NFL is dramatic like that. It's never just football. It's a soap opera with shoulder pads. Picture it, Shedeur, walking onto the field, thinking he's about to impress the world. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, coaches are rubbing their hands together like cartoon villains, dialing up impossible plays to see if he cracks. Did they actually do that? Maybe not. But fans ran with the theory, and honestly, it's way more entertaining than the boring truth. What's undeniable, though, is that Shedeur's stumble wasn't about talent. Everyone knows he has the arm, the vision, the swagger. What he didn't have was the perfect storm of preparation, chemistry, and comfort. And that, my friends, is how a future star ends up looking like a rookie thrown into the deep end without floaties.
You want to take that one? I mean, so I don't know exactly what Kevin's trying to say, but I think what Kevin is trying to say is, you know, the old coaching adage of if you don't practice, you don't play, right? Like, so the other guys on the depth chart have had injuries throughout camp, probably haven't been able to show, get enough practice reps to show what they get. And whereas Flacco has been, he's taken every rep he was scheduled to take. And I think that what Kevin is trying to say there is rooted in that idea of like, I mean, it's easy to sit here, it's like it's the Cleveland Browns. What do you mean high standards? Correct. Like the worst. But
I can hear your brain growing.
Yeah. But I think that's the point of like he's trying to explain the decision to go with Flacco by saying, look, we've seen it, we know what he can do, and the others still have to get there.
But let's not pretend this is the end of the world. In fact, if you know your NFL history, stumbling in the preseason is practically a rite of passage. Some of the greatest quarterbacks ever looked like total disasters in their early days. Fans laughed, critics doubted, and then, boom, those same quarterbacks turned into legends. So the real question isn't whether Shedeur stumbled. We all saw that. The real question is, what comes next? Does he use this stumble as fuel, bounce back, and torch defenses the next time he takes the field? Or does he become the next cautionary tale of hype gone wrong? The shockwaves from Shedeur's stumble didn't just end on the field. Oh no, this thing detonated like a gossip bomb. Fans couldn't stop talking about it, and if you dared scroll through your feed, you'd think Shedeur just personally invented a new way to disappoint humanity. They swore the coaches had it out for him, that the offensive line opened up like an automatic garage door, and that his receivers ran routes like they were auditioning for interpretive dance. To these fans, Shedeur wasn't stumbling, he was surviving a setup. In fact, they were so convinced it was sabotage that some suggested Deion Sanders should storm the locker room and demand answers like it was a WWE storyline.
Give 5 sacks, I believe.
I give Shedeur a C- D+ for that performance. I understand that the overwhelming, the consensus is that, oh, he didn't have the offensive line. But I went back and I watched some of those plays, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Too. Some of those plays, for fans, I don't know what y'all expectation is for how much time a quarterback should get in the pocket. You know, me, I try to go 3 to 4 seconds. The ball should be out. Like
4 now, you're living large if you can get 4.
Right. 3 to 4. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Then you had the other side, the critics. Oh, they had a field day. Every throw Shedeur missed became a meme. Every stumble was a reason to declare him a bust. These are the same people who probably screamed that Tom Brady would never amount to anything because he was a 6th-round pick. But the NFL has never been about patience, has it? No, fans want instant gratification. And it wasn't nearly as scandalous as social media wanted. The experts explained that Shedeur's stumble was the result of basic football realities. Chemistry issues, limited first-team reps, a brutal speed adjustment, and a coaching staff that might as well have been tossing him a live grenade instead of a playbook. Imagine showing up to your new job, and instead of training, your boss tells you to fix the company's finances with a broken calculator and an expired Starbucks gift card. That's the kind of situation Shedeur was in. He wasn't failing because he lacked skill, he was stumbling because the setup was absurd. And this is where history enters the chat. Because if you think Shedeur's stumble is the end of the story, you clearly haven't paid attention to how NFL legends were forged. Peyton Manning, the sheriff himself, once looked like a lost intern during his rookie season.
It has to play itself out. You just can't let that hang, in limbo forever. Because look, that guy understands he's one snap away. So you have to give him some reps. You have to give him some attention in the meeting room, on the practice field, and he can't just run cards all week long. He can't just be a scout team guy. So either that's going to be Dylan Gabriel getting that, Kenny Pickett getting that, or Shedeur getting that. So yeah, that has to be decided upon. I'm sure he already has.
Should we read a lot into it? Whatever it is. We shouldn't read a lot into who the backup quarterback is unless it's not one of the rookies. Let's say Kenny Pickett comes off of the injury reserve, or Kenny Pickett returns to practice, and now Kenny Pickett is second, and one of these rookie guys is the third emergency quarterback. Then that tells me what I'm starting to feel anyway, is that they don't see either.
The man threw interceptions like Oprah gives out free cars. Josh Allen? He looked so erratic his first year that fans in Buffalo were wondering if they accidentally drafted a linebacker who thought he was a quarterback. Even Troy Aikman's early career was a disaster. And last time I checked, all three of those guys turned out just fine. So why are people acting like Shedeur's preseason stumble is some career obituary? Because drama sells. Nobody clicks on a headline that says, young QB adjusting to NFL speed, everything normal. No, they want fireworks. They want conspiracy theories. If you believe the whispers, Shedeur wasn't just underprepared, he was deliberately set up to fail. Supposedly, coaches didn't give him the playbook reps he needed. Supposedly, they paired him with linemen who couldn't stop a gust of wind, let alone a defensive end. Supposedly, they wanted to see if he could swim in a tank full of sharks with one arm tied behind his back. And maybe, just maybe, they wanted to humble him, to send a message that in the NFL, even the son of prime time doesn't get a free pass.
And if I'm Shedeur and I see that,
yeah,
rookie on rookie, now, you start saying, what's your next name?
We got Shedeur Sanders.
Hello, Shedeur. Brother, we need you to get healthy. And I mean, we need you to get healthy fast. Because every single day that you miss and that you're in the training room or on the sideline is a day missed that you can prove to the masses that you belong under the helm when they call first offense.
Is it true? Who knows? But is it fun to imagine? Absolutely. Picture coaches in a dark meeting room, twirling invisible mustaches, plotting out ways to make Shedeur's debut look like an episode of Wipeout. Fans ate it up, because the NFL is more than a sport. It's reality television with helmets. Meanwhile, Shedeur himself had to carry all of this, the hype, the stumble, the memes, the sabotage theories, on his back. But here's the delicious irony, this stumble might be the best thing that could have happened to Shedeur. You know why? Because now he gets to build a redemption arc. And nothing hooks fans harder than a comeback story. Think about it, if Shedeur had rolled out in preseason, thrown 3 touchdowns, and walked off the field untouched, people would have shrugged and said, cool, expected that. But because he stumbled, because he looked human, because he gave the critics ammo, his eventual bounce back will taste 10 times sweeter. And don't think for a second that Shedeur isn't aware of that. He's not the kind of guy to fold under pressure. If anything, this stumble is fuel. The next time he hits the field, every pass, every throw, every drive will be under the microscope, and when he delivers, it'll silence the doubters in the loudest way possible.
Came in. Instead of taking that drop and then hitching back up in that pocket and then throwing it, you kept drifting back. And then for an offensive tackle, he's thinking, oh, well, I'm going to run you around. Like, you're going to have to run the hoop. That's why they call it run the hoop. But if the quarterback keeps backing up, that's a straight shot for him. So that some of those sacks were on him. I think he just couldn't really get things going. Like, I think what happened in that situation was that I believe the competitiveness in him came out.
So instead of writing him off, fans should probably grab some popcorn. Because what comes next could be legendary. Preseason stumbles don't define careers, they define narratives. And Shedeur's narrative just got way more interesting. If you thought the fan hysteria had peaked after Shedeur's stumble, think again. This thing spiraled into pure comedy gold. Theories were flying around like conspiracy boards on late-night cable. Some swore Shedeur's cleats were sabotaged, Others claimed the footballs were deflated just for him, and one guy in the comments section even suggested aliens. Imagine expecting a rookie to stroll into the preseason and throw touchdown bombs like he's playing against middle schoolers. Newsflash, the NFL doesn't work like that. You don't just download the QB skills package like it's an iPhone update. And yet, somehow, the Cleveland Browns managed to make themselves part of this story too. Because of course they did. The Browns are the only team in the universe that could look at a talented rookie like Shedeur and say, you know what? Let's completely mismanage this kid before he even gets comfortable. It's like their official franchise motto, if it ain't broke, we'll find a way to break it.
So it's official. Shedeur Sanders is definitely not going to be the starting quarterback and definitely not going to be the backup. He's most likely going to be cut by the Cleveland Browns sometime this week, or he is going to be on the practice squad. Hopefully they let him go and he can go to a team that actually wants him. But yeah, with today's performance, being sacked 4 times, not getting no snaps with the starters or the second string, it has become apparent that they love Dylan Gabriel, and obviously Joe Flacco going to be the
Instead of letting Shedeur build rhythm with the first team, they threw him in with a mismatched lineup, like handing Gordon Ramsay a microwave dinner and asking him to cook a 5-star meal. And then fans are shocked, when the result looks messy. The Browns have turned rookie mishandling into an art form, and Shedeur just became their latest gallery piece. The NFL is built on overreaction, and what better way to set up a comeback than giving the critics a taste of doubt? Because let's be real, when Shedeur figures it out, and he will, those same critics will pretend they never doubted him. They'll flip faster than pancakes at IHOP. In the end, this isn't a story about a failed quarterback, it's a story about hype, pressure, and the NFL's favorite pastime, turning molehills into mountains. Shedeur stumbled, sure. But stumbling isn't falling. And something tells me the kid is about to get up, dust off, and remind everyone why his name had the spotlight in the first place.